what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in.
Final time for Brand Touch. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Who gets it done? We're leaning on each other. It's Joey Rainey. It's Andrew Bound coming to the stripe. Stone Toby's right there with him. Checkered flag is out. Who gets it done? It's a photo finish for Brand Touch coming to the line.
For the push, I don't know. This is going to be a photo finish.
Oh, Stone Colby taking the checkered flag the inside. Who's it gonna be? It's a photo finish. Give it to Brendan Bird. Conquers Watkins Glen. Gets turned across the line.
Thank you for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure. Good evening, and welcome to a new circuit to West Coast Sim Racing. Another tight and technical one, the Circuit de Lédenon. For round 3 of this championship, we go to a track with some real character. It's narrow, undulating, constantly changing in elevation, and it runs the opposite direction of what many drivers are used to. The anti-clockwise circuit gives this place a rhythm all of its own. And in GR86 machinery, that challenge becomes even greater. These cars reward discipline, momentum, and drivers who can stay smooth without overdriving the platform. Round 3 is where the championship begins to take shape. The field has already had 2 chances to establish itself. This circuit can expose mistakes in a hurry and reward drivers who stay calm, tidy, and stitch the whole lap together. With the pressure building, the points matter more every single week. And tonight's race at Lédenon could be a key moment in the season. Welcome to West Coast Sim Racing, round 3 of the GR86 Championship. It's time to go racing. Welcome to the 1.91 mile track located in France. We have a couple keys to the race. Respect the elevation change, protect the momentum, be patient, and make sure you build the race. It's going to be 68 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temperature, 67 degrees Fahrenheit for the air temperature. No damage and no limit on fast repair, no limit on tire sets available. Let's take a look at the championship points as the drivers get gridded up. Jeremy Fletcher leads the Colby train of Slater, then Stone in P2, then P3. Brendan Birch in 4th, Edwin Onofre in 5th, Jeffrey Davis in 6th. Further back, Connor Cunningham, Nathaniel Redmond, Joe Rainey, Christian James, LaShawn Young, Dilworth, Luke Cantor, Alexei Andre, Warren Johnson, Nico Colby, Darren Colby, Jacob Bolland, and Glen Bratton rounding out the 18 participants so far. Take a look at our grid as we get the warm-up lap ready to go. Jeremy Fletcher and Nico Colby on that first row with Marvin Semayoa and Luke Cantor on the second. Number 3 going the way of Slater Colby and Brandon Birch. And then we have it going the way for Edwin Onofre and Stone Colby. Row number 5 for Connor Cunningham and Jensen McKelkey. Number 6 for Joe Rainey and Alexei Andre. Row number 7 for Warren Johnson and Jacob Bolland. Further back on row number 8, it's going to be Christian James and Glen Bratton. Row number 9 for Jason Holcomb and Thomas Dibley. Number 10, Daniel Redmond and Darren Colby. Howie Wu bringing up the rear in row 11. Pace car pulls in. We got 21 drivers ready to take the green flag. And it's green, green, green here at West Coast Sim Racing. Side by side between Semayoa and Luke Cantor. Going for the lead of the event right now will be Jeremy Fletcher and Nico Colby trading a little bit of paint on the racing surface. Still going to be 2-3 wide as Luke Cantor gets his elbows out with Stone Colby and Brandon Birch. The 18 of Luke Cantor sees Brandon Birch in the number 36 like a menace right now. Here's the elevation changes into the braking zone coming to the bottom of the key at La Cavalotte. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag on behalf of AK Esports and West Coast Sim Racing. I'm Sauger Bakshi, taking you from green to checkered flag as always. Fletcher right now leads Colby by a country mile, leading in towards turn 1 in Triple Gauche. Doesn't need to keep the field held up into a bottle anymore because Marvin Semayoa seemingly doing all that work right now. Jensen McKelkey having a bit of an incident, tumbling down the order a couple of positions. There's the attack from Birch onto Slater Colby, but to no avail. And now he falls under attack from Cantor behind. Coming out of La Cavalot into La Savant and La Couvette. Last corner on the track. Down at 18th and 19th position. And Christian James and Glen Bratton running at the back of the pack. Steve Birch making it in, cheering on Brandon Birch, who's gained 1 position tonight. In pursuit of a podium, has got Slater Colby holding him back right now. Joshua Smith, I was wondering where you've been cheering on the Bowlin fans. Welcome in, welcome in. Warren Johnson also in a little bit of trouble, or is he troubling LAXA Andre? No, he's in a little bit of trouble because there goes Jensen McKelkey. Birds aren't real machine. Cuts through the traffic like a knife through cheese. Warren Johnson being a stubborn piece of cheese right now, not wanting to give that position up. But he ends up succumbing to the attack at the end of the day. Taking a look at the battle box, Fletcher leads by 2.7 seconds ahead of this battle, including Birch, Slater Colby, and Stone Colby. Luke Cantor has caught up to this pack as well and is looming. He's down 3 positions from where he started this event, up in P4. Try to recover that one here. Let's take a look at Alexei Andreu as he gets overtaken by Jensen McKelkey coming down the front stretch. Jacob Bolland and Connor Tate Cunningham getting a little squirrely with Jason Holcomb there as well, bringing out the 427 to the party. Back up to the number 18 of Cantor. There goes the 25 of Slater Colby, a little too far wide. Rejoins the racetrack right ahead of the 18. Puts on all the blocks and prevents the 18 from getting through. Alternate lines taken through the final sector for the drivers. Lane through La Couvette. Beautiful pack battling going on right now. And this quattro of cars separated by just about nil still. .25 gets a bit of a wiggle there coming through the kink. And that leads to the 18's opportunity. He presents himself along the inside, but that'll be the long way around the outside for the following corner. He gets pushed all the way out to the curbs, and it'll be a challenge for them to keep this pace up and try to catch up to the Quattro up ahead. There goes the 18 down at the bottom of the key at Cuvée. And through, now across the stripe, the 18 of Cantor leads Slater Colby, then Stone, Edwin Onofre trailing in, well, fourth in this battle, but eighth overall because the battle for the lead has taken off. Brandon Birch in fourth position currently, looking further back at this gaggle of cars. Cantor loses one, loses two, and is gonna spin the 52 of Stone Colby. Holy Toledo. What a gaggle turned into a cluster. LAXA gaining a few positions after those spills and thrills. Samayoa gaining on the young Nico Colby. What can the Gorilla Pickles machine do to the Copeland Motorsports badged machine, with Birch trailing behind? Right on board through Cavalier. Up to Servi. On the lob pedal goes Samayoa. Gets a little bit of traction loss on throttle application. Up the hill, across the stripe. This will be for the 7th time we'll cross the line. Just about 4 minutes remain in this heat. And we'll get 3 laps left, folks. This lap plus 2 more. Warren Johnson in a bit of trouble right now, with the likes of Christian James up the road. The 93 and the 24 are going to go wheel to wheel coming through turn 1 and 2 triple gauche. All the way around to the pole. It'll be Christian James up ahead. Alex Andreu. A little bit of trouble, has a slowdown penalty in front of Connor T. Cunningham. He's going to serve that going into Cavalier, and that's going to open the door for Connor Cunningham to walk right on by. It won't be just that easy. Alexa is going to fight hard for that position all the way out to the curbing. And the fans are asking for the Jacob Ballin cam, so let's give it to him, folks. Jacob Bolland currently running the 43 in 14th position. Leads Jason Holcomb right now. I do want to get a good look at this paint scheme if we can. The ASC badged car. And the other one I wanted to look at was Brandon Birch's machine, because he still has the JFR Apex Motor Club badging on it, but Steve Birch said, or Mr. Birch said, that he's got his company logo on it. VehicleBuyers.com, I would assume. Or Stratasys. I would assume Stratasys. Here we go. On to the final lap, folks. Or is it? Barney holds back the white flag. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. As I am mistaken, this is not going to be the white flag lap by the looks of it. Jeremy Fletcher could treat us for another lap of battling. Connor Cunningham battling with Alexei Andreu as the battle for the podium continues to rage on between Jeremy Fletcher, who's in the lead by 1.7 seconds, Nico Colby, and then Marvin Semayoa and Brandon Birch. And I got every single one wrong of Steve Birch's companies. It's actually Helios. It's over the wheel wells of the car. We'll have to get a view of the rear wheel well. Take a look at those. Checkered flag for Jeremy Fletcher. He couldn't get one more lap done. That'll be a quick checker. Drag to the line between Nico Colby and Marvin Semayoa. And then Birch trails behind. Just 1,000th of a second separates the duo. Stone Colby and Luke Cantor separated by 19 thousandths. Justin McKelkey in 9th position. Jason Holcomb chasing Jason Bolland to the line as well. 66 thousandths separated them. Here were the results from Heat 1. It was Fletcher, Colby, Semayoa, the 1, 2, 3. Then we had in 4th place Brandon Birch, then Slater, Colby, Edwin Onofre, Luke Cantor, Stone Colby, Jensen McCalkey, Alexei Andreu, Connor Cunningham, Darren Colby, Joe Rainey, Jacob Bolland, Jason Holcomb, Christian James, Warren Johnson, Thomas Divley, Glenn Bratton, and Nathaniel Redmond rounding out the 20 drivers. Drivers having a little bit of fun in pit lane as we head through the warm-up period. See if we can get a replay of that checkered flag. Here's Samayoa dragging it out to the line. And that's just how close it got at the end of the day. Another 100 meters and Samayoa could have had it. Let's take a look at our starting grid for heat number 2. Jeremy Fletcher and Nico Colby on the first row. And then on row number 2, it'll be Samayoa and Brandon Birch. Number 3 for Slater Colby and Edwin Onofre. Number 4 for Luke Cantor and Stone Colby. Jensen McKelkey and Alexei Andreu. Connor Cunningham and Darren Colby. Joe Rainey and Jacob Ballin. Row number 8 for Jason Holcomb and Christian James. Row number 9 for Warren Johnson and Thomas Dibley. Row number 10 for Glenn Gratton and Nathaniel Redder. Following that is going to be Howie Wu in the number 98. Spills and thrills on the opening lap. Edwin Onofre having a big moment. Ready to go racing and take the green flags here at the Circuit de Lédenon. It's 27 minutes on the clock. Leading into corner 1 right now. It's going to be a drag for the drivers. Edwin Onofre is the one who loses out the most, though, down 4 positions in the handful of corners. All the way to turn 4, he's down 4 positions on his charge. Continuing to lose positions. This time it's going to be to Connor T. Cunningham, the driver of the 502. Drivers going over the gopher cam there through Cavalet. Slater Colby trying to go around Marvin Samayoa, the Grillos Pickles, number 97. It didn't work out for him on that occasion. What about for the 18? He's going to get spun, the 97 of Samayoa, and spun back around is going to be the 25 of Slater Colby. Huge gains for the rest of the field, including Connor Cunningham now, who's up 3 on his charge. Looking back at Alexei Andreu, he's making quick work of Samayoa, who's down 9 positions after that big one that he nearly had with the 25 of Slater Colby. Here is Jacob Bolland, the 43 driver, looking to gain a few positions this evening, resting his head in 14th position currently, but can make quick work of the drivers right up the road. There's Alexei Andreu making a mistake, and it should be one for Bolland at the end of the day. Jeremy Fletcher getting challenged by Nico Colby. Two Copeland Motorsports drivers' cars are going to go after it through the corner of Cavalier. Bump in the rear, bump and run given. Nico Colby hands it over to Jeremy Fletcher, who then loses out ground coming out of survey. And down to Courvalet, it will be Nico Colby leading us for the first time this race. Jeremy Fletcher getting another win this weekend, or this week, I should say. There goes the 22 in defense of, that's going to be Fletcher on Cantor. But Cantor is going to hold that inside line pretty steadfast and challenge Fletcher for that podium position. Speaking of podiums, Fletcher doesn't need this podium to stay in the lead of the championship, but it's always nice to have a healthy haul of points ahead of your opponents. Here's the 22 and the 36 alongside each other, coming through Courvalet, all the way down to Camion before we get down to Cavalier. What can Birch do from P2? He's 2/10. Excuse me, what can Fletcher do from P2? What can Birch do from P3? Drivers all come down to the bottom of the key of Corvette. Will go across the stripe. This will be for the third time. We'll finish out this lap. Hanson McKelkey and Connor Cunningham go wheel to wheel at turn 1. No, they will not, because Connor Cunningham is going to defend square but fair against the 41 of Jensen McKelkey behind. Warren Johnson calls it quits, and he's going to be in pit lane by the looks of it. Christian James and Jacob Bolland here. Bolland leads James and Alexei Andreu, trying to make this a three-way menage a trois en français. And it will no longer be that three-way bout. The 93 of Christian James gets through on Bolland. Alexei Andreu makes another mistake and falls in behind Bolland for now. Here's the onboard between Stone Colby and Onofre on the outside line right now. Slots in behind Cantor. This is a gaggle of cars up ahead. Fletcher back into the lead. Birch into P2. Nico Colby into third. Fletcher, Birch, now Colby. Then the other Colby, Stone. Aaron and Slater. A little too far back to finish out the Colby train tonight. Fletcher, though, now controls the field again. What can he do from where he's at? Bolland here with the 25 of Slater Colby. The two GR86s go wheel to wheel, coming across the stripe, but it's settled down before we get down to turn one. Looking at Stone Colby now. The fourth place driver right behind Nico and Birch. Take a look at the lap times to see who's advancing and who's losing out ground. Well, it's obvious that Nico has the pace as he pulls out the fastest lap of the event on lap 3. But on lap 5, he was a bit slower and lost time to Stone and Cantor behind. Fletcher tries to snatch away the fast lap of the event, but it only goes the way of Birch, who's the fastest driver on the track right now. In P2, the number 36 looks ahead to Fletcher. And the JFR Esports machine. Copeland Motorsports running through its veins. I'm sure Fletcher can do a lot to control the field out in the lead of this event. I am curious though, how many of you guys and gals in the YouTube chat have ever driven this track before? This was one I had to do quite a bit of research on before getting here. Opened in 1973 in Lédenon, Gard, France. We have 13 corners that run anti-clockwise. It's basically a major elevation change with tight technical corners. Because this track runs in an anti-clockwise direction, it gives a different feel for most of the drivers than they're used to. The car balance matters here more than most tracks because the car is constantly being challenged through these elevation changes. And here comes Samayoa challenging Joe Rainey from Rainey Homes in the 17. As Samayoa climbs back up into the top 10, he finds 9th place currently. Steve Birch says he's never heard of the track until tonight. At least I'm not the only one. When I heard it was announced for the calendar, I said, where are we racing again? 12 minutes underway. Just about the halfway point of this event when the leaders cross the line next time by. The Colby train is almost back together. In two places at least, we have Nico Colby and Stone Colby, and Darren Colby and Slater Colby further back in 12th and 13th. Update for the Ballin fans, running in 16th position. He's lost 2 from where he started this event. Darren Colby with an incident. See what happened here to Darren. Oh, big tank slapper. Sends him up and nearly into the barrier. Luke Cantor here in the 18 does a little switcheroo on the 5-2. Able to put it together on Stone Colby. A little bit of paint being exchanged as the 52 tries to turn in, but the 18 Dino Mobile existed, and there's a little bit more paint scrubbing between the Dynaco badged car and the Apex Motor Club machine. Take a look at the head-to-head between Birch and Fletcher. Losing about half a tenth per lap, so nearly matching the pace of Fletcher at least. Alexei Andreu here with Christian James up the road. Alexei Andreu's had 2 poorly races go his way tonight. Hopefully he can recover some positions. Down 3, unfortunately, from where he started. Still has a chance to climb up through the field and get a hard charger award. But right now, either Connor Cunningham or Christian James getting the hard charger award. I think it would go Connor Cunningham's way based on positions at the top of the field. Things a bit calmer for heat number 2, the feature race, rather than heat number 1 this time around. Drivers need to be patient on entry through this sector of the track because overdriving in the tighter corners can really hurt the whole next section. Drivers should look to maximize their exit speed because the lap links corners together so tightly. Battle between the top 6 is spread out quite a bit now. Let's get your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to come out on top? And who do you think is going to be a bridesmaid tonight? Right now, it's looking good for Brandon Birch to come home in P2. But still anybody's ball game. Anything can happen in motorsports, and it typically does. Luke Cantor and Nico Colby here. '16 weaving around, a little bump there from the 18 to the 16, Cantor into Colby. Run down to the bottom of the key at Cavalet. Cantor under attack from Stone, while also trying to attack. This is one of the trickiest places to be in as a driver. A look around the outside for the 52. Looks back to the inside with a switch back in the hip jack into Cantor. I'm gonna send him wide and down the order 2 positions behind the 99 of Onofre. I thought that was an incident. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here between Christian James. He crashed here. He sure does. Oh, the 93 snap-on machine. Able to get pointed in the right direction at the very least. Gap on Jeremy Fletcher. It's still just about half a second, but closer to catching than not. Cantor a little too far back to make anything happen to this trio. Right now it's Nico Colby leading Stone and then Onofre. Onofre knows that if he's going to get by one Colby, he's got to get by them both. Definitely doesn't want to be the meat of the sandwich between the two of them. Jacob Bolland here, and Christian James, driver who just recently made a mistake, recovers from that mistake, is up 3 positions and gets by Bolland. Back up here to this battle between Nico, Stone, Onofre. And look at that, Cantor in line now. And Connor Cunningham. Wow, oh wow. We haven't said a lot of nice things about Connor Cunningham tonight, but holy smokes, the 502 is up 4 positions. Onofre opens the door like a can of worms for Luke Cantor to walk right on through, and he does so. Cantor able to get through easily into 5th place. Edmund Onofre goes back to where he started this event in P6. On to the final couple of laps. We're still racing here with West Coast Sim Racing. Side by side, the 52 and the 16. Nico Colby and Stone Colby are going to settle this one on the racetrack. Birch traces down Fletcher, and it looks like they're running into traffic. A little bit of wiggling going on for the duo. Now Fletcher, Birch, and behind there's Slater Colby. Trying to stay in touch of this battle, but not get in the way. Nico and Stone across the line are wheel to wheel right now. We're gonna drag this one out. Nico goes back into 4th. Stone goes up ahead. Luke Cantor gives a little touch to the 16, but spins him back round. 3 wide going into the next hairpin. Three wide again to the next hairpin. Cantor, Nico Colby, then Onofre with a touch into the rear end of the 18. The Dynaco machine, the Copeland Motorsports machine gets a little touch and a spin. Jeremy Fletcher leads us on this final lap. Coming across the stripe, He'll take the checkered flag from Barney the Flagman in front of Brandon Birch, who tried his darndest at the end of the day. Luke Cantor in fourth, behind Stone, Nico Colby, Connor Cunningham, Edwin Onofree, Marvin Semayoa, Jensen McKelkey, and Joe Rainey round out your top 10. We'll get the unofficial results posted in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to have driver interviews coming up in just a few moments. Taking a look at the results, it was Fletcher, Birch, and Colby. Hard Charger going the way of Stone at the end of the day with 5 gained. Then it was Luke Cantor in fourth, Nico Colby, Connor Cunningham, Edwin Onofree, Marvin Semayoa, Jensen McKelkey, Joe Rainey rounding out our top 10. Alexi Andreu, Darren Colby, Christian James, Jacob Bolland, Glenn Bratton, Slater Colby, Jason Holcomb, Thomas Divley, Warren Johnson, and then Nathaniel Redmond rounding out our top 20. We'll go ahead and talk to our interviewees, Birch, Fletcher, and Colby. Not necessarily in that order, but we'll talk to them in just 20 seconds time as we give them a few moments to get situated in the interview. First and foremost, let's go ahead and talk to Stone Colby. Driver came in P3 for the feature race. Number 52 got the Hard Charger award with 5 positions gained tonight. Stone, how'd you do it from P8 all the way up to a podium?
I just finally figured out how to drive the car, I guess. And then that second race, I was finally not around somebody that didn't know how to drive. So I was able to kind of, after I gave him a door, I was able to focus on my own race. But that track's technical. It's tough. The fronts like to push. You got to do a little bit earlier braking with less pressure. It's tricky, but it was fun.
Off camber track, tons of elevation changes. I mean, this track looks very technical. Talk us through just one lap of challenges that you have to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dirt on the track. You know, there's one turn out there that's got a massive bump in it, and you feel like you should be in first gear in corners, but you're actually in second. You got to carry the momentum and get on the brakes a little earlier and lighter, and it's just it's narrow. You know, it's tough, especially with the hills and the off camber stuff. I mean, the car gets light, so you kind of just have to have a lot of confidence in it.
Fair enough, Stone. Well, here on the podium, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or thank tonight?
You for broadcasting, Warren for putting on the league, friends and family for watching, vehicle buyers, and JFR.
Thank you very much again, Stone, for supporting West Coast Sim Racing. Have a great night, my friend.
You too.
Next up, we'll talk to Mr. Birch, who's supposed to have some logos over the wheel wells, but we didn't catch a glimpse of those. Brandon Birch, how's it feel to be in P2 after a very sweaty race tonight?
Yeah, it was good. The track's tough. The track limits are very difficult there, so kind of battling watching X's. I was kind of watching where Jeremy was getting them, and I was trying to stay ahead on X's, and then I was like, well, I can't catch them anyway. So Was a good race though, for sure. I had a couple corners where I knew I could go a little bit faster, and I tried to push, and it ended up screwing up my run. So
Was
what I
there
get, but fun race.
anything you could learn or absorb from Jeremy Fletcher that you could employ in the last 5 laps that would have given you that extra tenth or two that you needed to catch up to him?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching for sure. There's always some stuff I can pick up on. I mean, Jeremy and Nico and all of us all drive together a lot, so I already picked up a lot of that stuff before we went into the race. I picked a 15 wing this time instead of a 10, which I know most guys were on 10, but car was a little too loose for me on 10, so that got me a little bit on the straightaways, but it worked out on the infield stuff. So yeah, second was what we got tonight.
Not too shabby of a run, Brandon. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, you for the broadcast, Warren for the league. That's always fun getting in here and racing with everybody for sure. And vehiclebuyers.com, JFR Esports, and Stack and my dad always in the chat watching.
Right on. Thank you very much, Brandon, and thank you very much, Mr. Birch, for your support as always. Have a good night, little Birch, and have a good one. Over to Jeremy Fletcher next, the leader of this championship and the leader of the race tonight. Jeremy Fletcher, how are you feeling here in Victory Lane?
Yeah, it was good. The new livery looked solid. Actually, watching it back on the live stream, and I think the race was pretty easy going here.
Yeah, it's a bright, shiny livery with the JFR badging on it. Couple of Motorsports being the secondary sponsor, I'm guessing now, just so I name it properly.
Just for this, I got a whole bunch of logos all over the car.
Right on. Now, what were the keys to the race tonight, in your opinion, Jeremy Fletcher? We had a couple of keys on our own, respecting the elevation, protecting momentum, and building the race, and that led to patience. What were your keys to the race tonight?
Yeah, I said the most consistent guy is going to win at the end of the day. You really have to underdrive this track. I think that's why I got away the first race. Everyone else was overdriving, and once I got a gap, they couldn't really figure it out. Race 2, I dropped back into the pack since Nico kept flashing me to drop back. And then he moved me kind of up out of the way. I drew back into him and kind of went from there. But Birch adapted really well. Drove good behind me and kind of kept the pressure on for majority of the race. And I did the opposite. I went to a 5 wing after qualifying and definitely was not the right call.
Now, at a track like this where not a lot of people are familiar with it or have put down a ton of miles, what's it like kind of being on equal footing and unfamiliarity?
I like it, honestly. It's a driver's track at the end of the day. That's why you see a field spread, and that's why you see there's the front guys, there's the mid pack, and there's the back pack. It's not just a whole bunch of draft, so it definitely creates some separation. Racing here's tough. I think, like everybody said, the X's, you got to be smart with it. If you seen my line on the last lap in the last sector, 2/10 quicker, but it's an X. So kind of saving your X's and playing them where you want them was a big part of it.
Very interesting to know. Thanks for the insight, Jeremy Fletcher. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank here in Victory Lane from France?
The JFR Esports crew, Copa Motorsports, the Rainey family, Colby family, Birch for keeping the pressure on. Like Birch mentioned, stacking his PT. Hope that's all going good. You for putting on this broadcast. Warren for putting on the league, and yeah, everyone that's really a big part of it.
Thanks, Fletcher. Really appreciate you supporting West Coast Sim Racing. Have a great night.
Yes, sir.
And last but not least, we'll talk to Warren Johnson, who looks to be hanging out in pit lane at this point in time, doing some donuts by the looks of it. Warren, talk to us a little bit about your race and why you're in pit lane.
We had some trouble with the car. Couldn't get it fixed in time, so we took it in. We thought we'd fix it for race 2, and then turns out it didn't happen, so we came back on the pit road.
Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We'll call that one a red flag, shall we?
Not even that. No, I do not like this track. As Jeremy said, it's a pro driver's track. Obviously, I'm not a pro driver, at least in my racing. But no, it was fun to watch. I was watching the race, so that was a good time.
Definitely was an exciting one from green to checkered flag. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank, Warren?
Just all the drivers and all the viewers for coming in, week out. You're the guys that makes it possible. So, we got a fun little schedule here. What's on Wednesday? Indy is for MX5. We got Indianapolis, and then we're going GT3's Bathurst on Thursday. So, a couple exciting tracks there for the round out the week. Also, I'd like to thank you for doing the broadcasting as always. So, it's always a good time. But we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Absolutely. Thank Warren. Appreciate you. Have a great night, my friend.
You as well. See ya.
On top of the gratitude that has already been given, I do want to give my own gratitude, shout out, and thanks to all the admins behind the scenes putting this all together. Thank you very much to all the drivers as well for showing up and showing out for West Coast Sim Racing. If you like what you saw, you want to get involved, make sure you join us on Discord. It's as easy as that. Signups are available on SimGrid as well. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. All the good things have to come to an end, and so shall this. Have a great night, and as always, stay safe out there. Goodbye for now.